STAR Math and Reading, Creating Interventions and Setting Goals. I access STAR on the main Coventry Schools page. On the right side of the site, I see an icon called Web-Based Learning Tools. Once I click on this tab, STAR is the third link. Once I click on STAR, I sign in as usual. Once I log in for the purpose of creating an intervention and goal, I can select either STAR Reading or STAR Math, depending on what area I am providing the intervention. I'm going to select Reading, but if I used Math, it will look exactly the same. Once I select STAR Reading, a list of options will appear. From top to bottom, they are Enterprise Home, Screening, Progress Monitoring and Intervention, Record Book, Reports, View Growth Targets, Historical Extract, Deactivate STAR Tests, Preferences, and Resources. To enter an intervention, I select the second option, Screening, Progress Monitoring, and Intervention. Once in Screening, Progress Monitoring, and Intervention, I select the tab on the right, Progress Monitoring and Goals. Once I have selected Progress Monitoring and Goals, I type in the last name of the student I want to set up the intervention and goal for. I have the option of setting interventions and goals for an entire class, as long as I already have classes set up in STAR. It's the same process as doing an individual student. In this example, I searched for Kenneth, and I can see that his most recent test places him in the 5th percentile and in the urgent intervention category. If I place my cursor over his blue name, I can click and get more specific information. This is the student detail page. I can see that Kenneth took STAR Reading test 4 times. On September 3rd, his fall screening indicates that he has a scaled score of 494 and is in the 13th percentile rank. Progress monitoring on 11/17 indicates a 455 scaled score and 8th percentile rank. On December 17th, 471 for a scaled score in the 10th percentile rank. His latest test scores for winter screening indicates he has a scaled score of 412 and is in the 5th percentile rank. His test scores are inconsistent, but he clearly needs an intervention and a goal, so I will click Add Goal. First, I need to give the intervention a name. It could be small group, one-to-one, after-school tutoring, etc., anything that you want. The goal end date can be the end of a marking period, semester, or school year, or any other period of time. I just need to be sure to allow enough time for the intervention to work. I can change the goal end date at any point. For Kenneth, the intervention name I chose is small group, 30 minutes, odd days, and the goal end date is April 17th, just before April vacation. Next, I need to determine what starting test I want to use as his anchor test. For Kenneth, if you recall, I have 4 data points. I have this first one, which was the fall screening, the second one, third one, and his fourth one, winter screening. It is important to administer a test close to the actual start date of the intervention. In doing so, the assessment will hopefully give me true baseline data. As a result, I'm going to select his latest test as the starting test. Once I determine the starting test, which you can see for me was January 6th, I then need to select a goal type. The choices are moderate, ambitious, or custom. If I select moderate, the goal will be calculated based on the starting test data to display the growth rate achieved by 50% of students with a similar percentile rank as the student I am setting a goal for Kenneth. If I select ambitious, the goal will be calculated to display the growth rate achieved by 25% of students with a similar percentile rank. If neither of these goal types seem appropriate, I can define a custom goal by entering the scaled score or percentile rank I want the student to achieve by the end of the intervention period. There is no formula to determine which goal is best. I have to consider what I know about the student, the intervention, and then my professional experience. Because I will only see Kenneth every other day, and because I know he is absent frequently and is unmotivated, I'm going to set a moderate goal because I think that might be most realistic. I do think his needs are urgent, but I am not confident that setting an ambitious goal is realistic given what I know. I selected moderate and then clicked calculate goal. I now can see that by the goal end date of April 17th, Kenneth has an expected scaled score of 442 and a percentile rank of 6. After I have saved Kenneth's goal, his student detail page includes the goal, the date, the intervention and goal were set, and the specific details. I can also edit this goal if I want to change any components or create a new intervention and goal. I can do that right up here at the top right-hand corner. Once I click the edit button, the screen provides me a prompt. What would you like to do? From there, the steps are the same as if I were starting from the beginning, except I now have a little more information about Kenneth. So you can see here that I can change the duration or goal of existing intervention, or I can set up a new intervention and goal, which of course requires the student to take another test. When I look at Kenny's student progress monitoring report, another report that I can look at under the reports tab, you can see by the left, on the left-hand model, that I don't have a goal set. The right-hand model indicates that I have set a goal. You can see by the red line that that is when I set the intervention. The green line shows the trend and the star shows what he will need to do to meet his expected goal. So remember, to make sure a student is tested shortly before an intervention begins so that you have accurate baseline data. Be sure to enter details about an intervention and set growth rate goals. Administer STAR assessments frequently to progress monitor. A trend line appears after 4 tests. Review the student progress monitoring report after each test. By comparing a student's trend line to the goal line, you can see if the student is on track to meet the goal for the intervention. And then, of course, edit student interventions and goal as often as necessary.